Is this thing on? Pika? Did you check the microphone first? Oh, we didn't even turn off the... You're off to a good start. do 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 do. Happy Real Star Wars Day. Welcome to the Comics Coffee Table. Well, we are a comic book show, so, I mean, yep, here are the comic books. Here's some Star Wars comic books. Yeah, yay, it's the Star Wars. Star Warsing. Hooraysies for Star Warsing. Yay. Look, lightsabers and Jedis and Sith, those aren't Star Warsy anymore. Oh, you old Star Warsy fans, you have to leave now. Bye. So here's your Star Wars funny books. Beautiful Filmato art, by the way. I mean, I tried. We're going to talk about all of this and more. It's Star Wars Day. It's real Star Wars Day. It's May the 25th. And we're going to get into it. I lost the Star Wars. I'm a 50-year-old. I'll be 51 this November. I'm a G1 Star Wars fan. I lost the Star Wars. Yeah, how's that for a cold open? Hi there. Welcome to the Comics Coffee Table, where we take a break together. We talk geeky. We leave the real world over there. We come to a galaxy far away, a long, long time ago. Yeah. Grab a cuppa, whatever it is you're shoving under your nose today. It's time to talk about, well, we talk about comic books, but today we're talking about Star Wars. And so, yeah, so I brought some comic books, showed the comic books. Those are Star Warsy comic books. Those are the Star Warsy comic books. I lost the Star Wars. I'm a Star Wars veteran. Did 2 tours, 3 tours, maybe 4? Hard to say. But I don't want to make light of any of our military people. For real, about war. War is terrible. War is of vital importance to the state, capital S. Those are the opening words of Sun Tzu's The Art of War. War is of vital importance to the state. The state can, including its people and its culture and its way, can either live or die because of the result of a war. This is true. And Star Wars, why are we spotlighting today, Sully, May the 25th, not May the 4th? Come on, Sully, why don't you have some fun? Huh? We're all enjoying ourselves over here without lightsabers and Jedi and without good and evil and without mythology. And but yeah, there's a point, don't worry. And like the hat's covering the point. Yeah, waka waka. Oh dear. I grew up with Star Wars. Star Wars was released. A New Hope. The movie that you would eventually know as Episode 4, A New Hope, was once just Star Wars. It was released on May the 25th, 1977. I was 4 years old. And I wouldn't be 5 until November. I don't remember seeing Star Wars when it opened. There were re-releases. I saw it after that. And I also I've shown this a few times. Speaking of comic books, I got this at my local comic book shop. My local comic book shop is also a vintage toy store. I paid $40 for this old toy. I had this when I was a child. This was the Star Wars. I remember the box it came in. This was the Star Wars exclusive of, I think it was Viewmaster, or it's called Movie Viewer, but I don't even know the product name. But it's got an eyepiece. You hold it up to this light source here. It's got a hand crank that contains a little bit of 8mm film footage that has a duplicate of certain scenes of Star Wars. So it's like about a 4-minute cut of Star Wars from beginning to end for a small child. It's also was a phaser or anything I wanted it to be. A movie camera. This was a great toy for a kid. But I remember Star Wars, the earliest, the original Star Wars, the May 25th, 1977 original. This is how I remember it earliest, seeing it. Then there must have been subsequent reviewings at, at movie houses, movie theaters, re-releasing it. It would come out. I think it came out around Christmas a few times. And then there was the holiday special in 1979. That was right around my birthday. And then in 1980, Empire Strikes Back premiered in May 21st, 1980. And that's special for me as well. I went to the premiere. My auntie, Joanne, who's passed on, God bless you, I love you, took me and my best friend, Brian, to the premiere. And there were like people dressed up as stormtroopers and Imperial officers. And my auntie asked the door person, no, can you open up the curtains for the kids? And they did. And we walked through, and it was kind of like we were little people. We were small people. I was 7, he was 6. And I wouldn't be 8 until November. And Star Wars was our world. You imagine a 6 and a 7-year-old boy. Kid, because there were plenty of kids that were gaga about Star Wars. But seeing that in the 20th century, upon release, being entrenched in the action figures. I mean, playing Star Wars Day was just the best experience, And Brian also had all the best toys. He had the Millennium Falcon. He had the AT-AT. I mean, he had the snow speeder, oof, and his cousin Keith as well. And we were all a group of friends, and Keith and Brian were the same age, so, just me a year apart, and we all, a year in a grade, one school grade. I was one grade ahead of them. But, we had a Han, we had a Luke, and we had a Chewie. And Brian's kid sister, Shannon, she was our Princess Leia. And this is way before 1980, May the 25th, hello today, 1983, when Return of the Jedi released. So May the 25th is the real Star Wars Day. May the 4th is a Hallmark, cutesy Star Warsy Day. That's what, May the 4th be with you is Star Warsy Day. May the 25th is Star Wars Day. And I got more hits than Sadra Adra O. Sadra Adra O is this legendary Japanese baseball player. Got a lot of home runs and hits. And he legended to approach the ball and his posture of holding the bat as the samurai does their sword. The katana and their wakizashi. And I have lightsabers. Let's show them again. It's the day. Hello. Great lightsabers. I got a Han and Carbonite. I've been meaning to get a Boba Fett, strictly the Empire Strikes Back Boba Fett, maybe with the wind in his cape, to stand next to Han and Carbonite. I think that's like peak Star Wars, 1980. I got over here my 1999 original. That's my Qui-Gon Jinn, the green hilt, the green blade, and that's the original Obi-Wan Kenobi hilt. I had Darth Maul, and I gave it to a child. There you go. That's a great fate for a toy. I still walk down the street to this day, and I'll grab my hip, and I'll go... These Ben Burt sound effects. These indelible Ben Burt sound effects. And the John Williams music. And the knowledge, this kind of like running joke that Star Wars would never have been Star Wars unless it was for the editing of George Lucas's wife, Marcia. And Marcia took a look at what George made and said, let me do this. And cleaned up the editing, the pacing, especially the Death Star trench run fights and things. And so the movie, it wouldn't have landed as well as it did without Marshall Lucas's editing and her contribution. She later left her multi-million-dollar husband in a Californian divorce, got half, for a handyman that was helping renovate the library at Skywalker Ranch. I heard that's the legend. This is hearsay. This is story time. Okay, so it's not slander, libel, or gossip. It's just I think that's the story. And George actually remarried quite recently too, in the past few decades, to a wonderful woman, and he's got his first biological child, a daughter. So there is a legit heir to the empire. Yeah, and it's a small black girl whose name is George Lucas's daughter. Yeah, seriously, I'm serious. Shit. I love Star Wars. I love Star Wars. I hope you love Star Wars too. One of my favorite interpretations of the Star Wars movies came obliquely from a different book that I've reread several times. Some people are sick of it. Some people just I like it because it's basic. From basic, you can go to elaborate. Without the basic, you won't have the foundation or the understanding to pull off a goal. Be the master and then be the artist, in a way. But I completely forgot where I was going with that. Pika, you look strong enough to pull the airs of a Gundark, laser brain. So when I was a kid, I had Marvel comics. Oh yeah, let's go get the Marvel comics. Yeah, they were on my spinner rack in the living room. But yeah, of course I have Marvel comics, Marvel Star Wars comics that I grew up with. And yeah, just a couple of my favorites. And I'm a sucker for the Columbia bike ad, the bike contest. Exactly, this Walt Simonson art. These are legitimately ones that I would have picked any of these up on the spinner rack. I remember seeing late, after issue 100 at a store 24 in South Boston, up there on East Broadway there, near the old Heights Academy where we went to middle school. So yeah, I got 3 out of the 4 of the banner ad ones. The only other banner ad one would be the Spidey and His Amazing Friends. I got this just for the cover alone, and because this leads into the next. This is the Shara Bay issues, and I love this cover, and it leads into Luke Skywalker Pariah. And also, you could see this is around the age of the price shift. So it went from 50 cents. That's 2 quarters. A kid would have 2 quarters in their pocket. Now you need 2 quarters and a dime, which isn't impossible. No, I mean, dimes are lying around more so than quarters. Quarters are really valuable. A quarter could get you a pack of bubblegum cards, some baseball cards. We like hockey cards, football cards, movie cards, any cards. But a quarter a pack. Some candy. Maybe a bottle of tonic like a Coca-Cola or a Pepsi. Ugh. I like Dr. Pepper myself. But yeah, these are just some made for kids to buy off a spinner rack with their pocket change. What I literally did. This is a slice of my Star Wars childhood. I love these. This is great. I'm so, happy I got to, be reunited with these. One of the last 60-cent ones. It goes up to 75 cents pretty soon after this. This was released about the time of Return of the Jedi as well. This came out in 1983. And, and this came out a couple of months ago. A new Marvel mag. We talked about that. Yeah, and those are some Star Wars funny books. And I got this book too. I've showed it once. I need to get the second volume. These are the newspaper strips. There was another parallel Star Wars story going on that was non-canonical, just like this Marvel Star Wars story that was non-canonical. It's not. It might be Legends, but it is not expanded universe as we know it. The expanded universe starts in the early 1990s as a corporate syzygy, as the beginning of Lucas Story Group, and between Dark Horse Comics and the publisher of I think it was Del Rey, and Because if it wasn't for Del Rey, they wouldn't have kept the books as legitimate, not expanded universe, as canon. So I remember Leland Chi. I have a tweet. I tweeted him back in 2015, 14 or 15, and I asked him. He was the one of the leaders of Story Group, and I asked him, and he answered me. He was, was like, "Are these novelizations no longer canon?" And he's like, "You're correct. I mean, to make room for new stories, kind of thing." Yet, Del Rey never stopped publishing any of their openings to their books without there's a timeline, and got it in this one because I think it's the latest one. This is the trilogy, the prequel trilogy. If you ever really wanted to enjoy the prequels, I offer you, my friends, the movie novelizations. This is the Del Rey Star Wars timeline. So, and this is the new one as well. So this is post Disney. This does not have any of the old EU expanded universe, aka now Legends. This has, at Force Awakens. This was done at the beginning of that. So it was a new publishing enterprise. Wipe that slate clean. But it was Del Rey that kind of insisted that the canon of the original and prequel trilogy novelizations stands as is. So we have little overlaps. We have, we have divergences on a small scale between what's in the novel, which was based upon previous screenplay, the most previous, the latest screenplay before reshoots and pickup shots. So in, say, something such as the prequel trilogy, Anakin relishes his fall. He gets his sense of humor back, becoming Darth Vader. And when Padme comes to Mustafar, he's not crying. There's no tear. I think that's very poignant. And that Anakin has to yellow down his eyes. He has to put on Anakin's face. Put on the mask. There's a deep, and these are really, I totally stand by these. I grew up with these. We didn't have a VCR until, the mid 80s, and Return of the Jedi had already been out a few years, and then we can, tape them off a cable and watch them whenever we want. But before that, I had my paperbacks. All right, and this has a great scene in A New Hope in Star Wars. And it's just like there's a pilot that says, "I flew with Luke Skywalker. Your name's Skywalker. I flew with your dad in the Clone Wars. If you're half the pilot than he is, then you'll be fine." Something, and that scene also picks up again in Marvel Star Wars. I think issue number 4, the movie adaptation, the first issues of the Marvel Star Wars. That scene's in there too, and that there are a few added scenes, especially in the prequel trilogy, that are just really moving, and it just adds to it. And so it's not to confuse the stories. But it's just the novelization, and we expect it to have its own kind of flavor. And I read actually the novelizations of all 3 of the Disney sequel movies. They didn't help. I read The Rise of Skywalker's novelization. Yeah, I got problems with it, of course. The biggest problem was that, Marvel got back their Disney, their Star Wars license. So for the prequels, Dark Horse had this really awesome, these decades of Star Wars books, but they did the movie adaptations. So you have episodes 4, 5, and 6, Star Wars, A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi as Marvel Comics adaptations in magazine and issue forms. Yes. And then you had Dark Horse doing episodes 1, Phantom Menace, 2, Attack of the Clones, and 3, Revenge of the Sith. And they're serialized in magazine format and trade paperbacks. Now comes reverting back through Disney to Marvel. So there's a Force Awakens Marvel Comics adaptation. There is a Marvel Comics adaptation of The Last Jedi. There is a finished Rise of Skywalker adaptation, but it's never been mass produced. It was scheduled. It was solicited. Art by Phil Noto, and but I mean, it's also the only Star Wars movie that came out on physical media that does not have bonus features, such as makings of and behind the scenes. I think that all leads to the same place. That there is just, it's exactly what Han says to Leia in Empire Strikes Back. We have no time to discuss this as a committee. I am not a committee. I love Star Wars. And, I always will. Happy Star Wars Day. It's May the 25th. This is the real Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. It's cute, but it's Star Wars-y Day. Thank you. I'm sorry. It is. Thank you. And I hope you celebrate it, and I hope you like it, and I hope you have a lightsaber and hold it high and say, like, I'm a pink Jedi. I'm only like 1/8 Sith. Something like that. I mean, you have that artistic license. Do it, man. Enjoy it. Or, that's like, cosplayers do stuff like that. This is where we see, if you want to see like the pink Jedi who is like, 7/8 Jedi, 1/8 Sith. I just made this up. This could already exist, but this is like cosplayer mentality. Like, you want to go to a cosplay and just like, you get like dress up as like in pink Sith robes with a pink lightsaber and be like, I'm a pink Sith. I'm like, I'm like 5/8 Sith and 3/8 Jedi, of white. Yeah. It's color theory. Oh gosh, get your racisms out of my freaking thing. Indeed. Oh yeah, and so these were really great. Okay, we had the first appearance of a black trooper, like of a stealth stormtrooper. This was so fun. Okay, this was a daily and weekly and Sunday comic book strip and newspapers, and this was great. And they were based on you can tell that they were based on the action figures, the visual. Like they probably had a story Bible and a visual guide, and all of the like everyone is like perfect to the action figure. And also in here you have the first appearance of the TIE bomber as well. And these came out in 1979, 78, 79, I believe. And we all know that the TIE bomber is premieres with Empire Strikes Back. Oh, it should be right here. Did you already blew past it, stupid? Oh. Great stuff, though. Like rudimentary walkers, because the walker is about to be premiered as well. It's good stuff. This is if you can get this is the newspaper strips. Yes. All right. Well, I'm going to mention Disney Plus real quick. I don't watch Disney Plus. I don't want to give them their metrics. That's what's most valuable to them, is what kind of like us as YouTube creators. It's about clicks, metrics, and watch and view times. Public view hours matter to me. Clicks matter to me. My metrics, my analytics. I see that. I experience that, and that's what's valuable to me as a YouTube creator. On some level. The big part is this conversation, and hanging out with you guys. And it's the same for Disney Plus. So I've never watched Disney Plus shows. I haven't watched any of their Star Wars shows. I haven't watched any of their Marvel shows either. Hello. I'm a big Marvel fan. And I loved MCU until the end of Phase 3. I thought that was a great place to walk away. And I don't mean that negatively. I mean, I've watched a few Phase 4 movies and been pleased. I saw Doctor Strange. I saw Spider-Man. They're all right. Sure. But Star Wars, though, I mean, so there's a lot of Star Wars content on Disney Plus. Yet, what's the fate of their physical media? I'm I love physical media. My living room looks like it's looks like a video store, an old-fashioned Blockbuster out there. I've got shelves and shelves and shelves of DVDs and Blu-rays. So here's my let's just get to it. Here's my Star Wars shelf, and I hope you notice what's here, and I want you to notice what's not here. Here it is. This is my curation from my shelf. This is my Star Wars shelf. Sorry, let's make this a little bit manageable, so I don't drop them and have to resort them. Oh boy. Let's take a minute. Hold on. Okay, here, back to action, as the Power Rangers say. Here it is. This is my beloved Star Wars shelf. Okay, from the bottom up, I've used to have my Criterion copy of Akira Kurosawa's The Hidden Fortress in here as well. Between it was right before A New Hope, episodes 4. But we have DVDs and Blu-rays, old and kind of newish. Let's see, these my Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones. They started off. This is the Gennady Tartakovsky 2003 Clone Wars. That bookend, and still, like, they still fit, especially with the newer, the Filoni Clone Wars. Now notice this is why I bring up the Disney Plus as well. I don't think that they have a plan for physical media release, such as, for me personally, what would I be interested in? Specifically, the last season of Clone Wars, the one with Ahsoka and Rex, and Execute Order 66. So, will that ever come out on Blu-ray? Will it? Will Kenobi ever come out? Who cares? I mean, Book of Boba Fett, I don't care. The Mandalorian, that should be in my wheelhouse. I should be loving that show. I don't care. But what I would care about is completing this collection I have. So such as with, like, say if you have the comic book adaptation collection, you have 8 out of 9 movies, and you'll never get that 9th one. No, sorry. You don't matter. I mean, seriously, like, what about our collection? What about our curation? What about this love? You know what I mean? So there we have, in the Revenge of the Sith. Then we have Star Wars Rebels. I like Star Wars Rebels. I did. I'm missing, there's a DVD on the floor somewhere. Solo, Rogue One. I tried watching Solo again on this very disc. I turned it off. Rogue One, the last 20 minutes are still worth the price of admission. I saw it. I had a great time seeing it with friends at the movie theater. Now, okay, I got the steel books. They were on sale. So I got the steel books of Star Wars, of Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. So dissatisfied. I thought, all this special edition stuff, it's not my favorite. But, I mean, I grew up as a G1 fan. So what do? Well, right here, these are the 2005 DVD releases of the original trilogy. A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. See, they have the same, like, trade dress, the same spine, design as episodes 1, 2, and 3. They look great together. They're a block. And these 3 discs, specifically the Return of the Jedi, which I paid $70 for, and one of these, I got A New Hope in the dollar bin at my local comic book shop, and I got Empire for maybe about $25 or $30. They're worth it because the bonus disc, full of behind-the-scene information and makings of, there is a copy of the original movie, the pre-special edition, the pre-1997 special editions, and it's the movie I remember. Alarming, huh? I live down the street from a firehouse, so get home safely, all of you boys and girls, if you're there too, or however you identify in this grand spectrum of humanity. And so up on the top here, we have The Force Awakens. We have The Last Jedi, of which I put on my iPod and watched the hell out of. I tried to enjoy that. I really did. and it stops here with Resistance Season 1. This is a well-intended animated show to go, because Rebels, Clone Wars, they did pretty well. I didn't even finish watching Season 1. It was boring. It was really bad, but really bad seems to describe my Disney Star Wars experience. The dis-canon, Disney, dis-canon. Yeah, there's a Greek prefix there that you might want to interpret into that statement. I don't have The Rise of Skywalker, and I won't. In fact, I'm thinking about just like getting rid of these, just throwing them out and selling them, or maybe I should burn them. Or people used to burn trash back in the day. It's not just an effigy kind of, protest. But yeah, I mean, I'm better off without them. And that's that. But for me, it's Star Wars Day for a lot of us. It's May the 25th. Thank you so much for tuning in to our Star Wars special today. Yeah, this is let's not drop this again. Yeah, that's my Star Wars shelf. It will never be complete. And out of choice or by corporate mandate. I mean, yeah, I'll never. Do you think I'm gonna get that last season of Clone Wars to finish this collection on Blu-ray? Yeah, huh? Thank you so very much for tuning in today. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. Please like and subscribe. I would love to earn your subscription. We make daily content here. We talk about comic books every day, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern, daily. Join us in the live chat. Leave a comment in the comment section and keep this comic book shop style conversation going. This has been a Star Wars special, a very special episode of the Comics Coffee Table, because it's Star Wars Day for me. Today, it's a fitting Star Wars Day. And for the quote-unquote real fans, I don't want to get into that. I mean, sorry, I'm a G1 fan. I have my level of orthodoxy is so superior to anything else. All you can be is born again, in my eyes. If you reject your sorcerer's ways, maybe there's room for you here at our coffee table. I'm kidding. Thank you so very much. Like and subscribe, and we will see you later. We will see you tomorrow in those funny pages. Ciao. Bye-bye. And may the Force be with you. Do, 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 do. Do 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 do. I lost the Star Wars. Ciao. Bye bye.